through my veins. On the pitch where the glory remains, the cockerel stands brave on the crest. North London pride, this ain't no jest. From lane to the new shining ground, echo chants where the legends are found. Heroes carved in the heart of time, we march on through grit and grime. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Echoes of King and Greaves in the air. Every goal, the sound declares. Heartbeats pound like a drummer's song, marching forward, fierce and strong. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. Oh, I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire.
Yes, guys, we have drawn 2-2 away to Burnley, a game of two halves. Tottenham Hotspur dominating the first. Bournemouth coming back, equalising at the end of the first half, then taking the lead. And then Romero with a last-ditch header in injury time as Tottenham scrape a 2-2 draw in Burnley. Thomas Frank, for me, will remain in charge at Tottenham Hotspur, I think, to the end of the season. Anything else happens. But, Rain, look, it's a for me, we shouldn't be drawing against Burnley. I'm sorry. And I think that's fair to say. And I think I'm fair enough to say that. But God, that was hard watch. That again, that second half was hard, Rain. What was the difference between the first half and the second half? First half, we were really good.
The difference is that Burnley came out to play second half. First half, like I said, they were sitting back, they were letting us play, and do you know what? We look pretty. We look pretty when we're allowed to, have a little bit of time, just like with Dortmund, have a little bit of time on the ball, pass it around. But as soon as we're put under pressure, as soon as these players have to, compete, we really struggle. Even in the first half, we had. You're right. We had such a degree of dominance in the first half.
Yeah, we did.
That we really should have been 2 or 3 up.
Yeah.
Really, with that level of dominance, we should have been putting balls into the box. We should have been carving out chances, and we didn't. And there are no. With this Premier League, this season in particular, more than ever, there are no teams who are rollovers. This Premier League is absolutely the most competitive that we've seen for quite a while. There are no, Derby counties who are going to be cut loose. We really, and we're living off our defence. We're not just from the early part of the season where we were keeping clean sheets, but it's our defenders who are scoring our goals. For say,
Yeah.
I mean, it's you know what I mean.
It's to me, Rain, it's like today was a perfect example of Tottenham Hotspur in a nutshell. You want to know what Tottenham Hotspur is all about? There's a game. Just watch that game. That's it in a nutshell. Great in going forward, great in creating chances, but we just can't take them because we don't have a striker. Our defenders are being. It wasn't for Romero today. I know Xavi hit the bar just before that, but we're playing Burnley for Christ's sake. We're not playing Manchester United. We're not playing Liverpool. We're not playing Arsenal. We're not. We've got all these big games coming up. This was the game to get 3 points to get us up, get us sort of out of that relegation battle. Do you know what? Today we've been drawn into a relegation battle. Now, are we too good to go down? Probably we're too big to go down, but we've been drawn into it. And I said it in the watch along as well, Rain. That somebody put it in the chat. We're no further forward than we were last season under Ange Postecoglou. We're still in the same position. We haven't moved forward. We might have gone back a little bit. You look at Manchester United, who finished 16th last year. Where are they? They're fighting up the top end of the Premier League. They've improved. They've moved forward. We haven't. So is that down to Thomas Frank? Is that down to the board? Is it down to the players? Or is it all of the above?
They went out and got Mbeumo.
Yeah.
They got Sesko. Obviously, he hasn't really kicked on, but
No.
he's better than who they had. We haven't kicked on at all. We've done a bit of a like for like replacements in terms of transfer window. We lost Sonny. We didn't replace anybody on the left
No.
wing. We're relying on. I'm not sure. Are we relying on Tell at left wing? You know, are we relying on Tell or
Oh,
is Tell not wanted? I don't know. I don't know what's going
I
on
do you know.
there. You know, I don't get it. Our squad is a complete mishmash. It makes no sense whatsoever. It's completely irrational, and we've got real lack of quality. You know what I said at the start of the in our pre-match
Yeah.
about Bear?
Yeah.
He had what 2 moments,
Yeah.
and that was it today. Player of the match against Dortmund today, anonymous for about 90% of the game. You know, and that's absolutely where we are and where our attack has been all season. The reason why we look stagnant is because we've mostly got the same players that or we
That
haven't really progressed.
that shouldn't be the. I mean, players should have the sort of the ability or the motivation to say, right, we're going to be better next season. We've got a new manager in, let's improve. I think it's down on the board for not backing him properly in the summer. We only bought 2 solid players in. The rest of them are loans. So we didn't back them in the summer when Manchester United backed their manager. The players don't get behind Thomas Frank. I think some of them players are just not getting on with him at all. I think there's a lot more in that dressing room than is led to believe. And I think as a football club, we're too busy infighting with the owners. The owners are too busy infighting with Daniel Levy, trying to dilute his shares. They've taken their eye off the ball. And we're sleepwalking into relegation, Rain. I'm sorry to say it, we are sleepwalking into it. The same happened in the 70s. After Bill Nick resigned, we walked our way into relegation in 77. And we're doing exactly the same thing now. With one winning a trophy last year, and look, I'd be grateful for winning that trophy. Best night of my life on YouTube. Best watch long ever I did. That night I'll remember for the rest of my life. But did that night just put a plaster over how bad this squad is? And I think it did. And it gave us that false sort of optimism of we can now bounce on from this. And we're not. We should not be drawing against Burnley. No disrespect to Burnley. We should be going there and getting 3 points. Thomas said he has to go tonight. We have 6 good players. If we keep doing this, we'll be relegated. I hate to say this, but the truth is in front line is rubbish. It is. Big up to Jazz Fusion. Players are the same. Have a spine of eggshells. Mentality is weak. Source. Big up to Mr. Brady. Says 1 point out 6 against teams in the bottom 3. City, United, Newcastle to come. Nemo out to Nemo to out forwards. The goal is the oblong thing with nets.
Yeah.
Burnley equaliser killed us. No belief. Phil Spur, I have to agree with that. I think it did
Yeah.
kill us.
I think this is it.
Yeah.
There's quite a level of fragility. And again, I come back to, I don't trust Bissouma. Again, he had a great first half, nothing second half. Why? Because they went for us. And in the first half, he was just allowed to just sit on the ball and play it around.
We don't want to fight, do we, Ray? We don't want to fight. We
Yeah,
don't want to roll up our sleeves and get stuck in.
Yeah.
Burnley do.
Conor Gallagher put himself about a bit the second half. I'll say this: Xavi puts himself about. He absolutely puts himself about. I mean, that's why people are so. That's why people want. That's why people like Tell. You see him come on in that second half, and even the way that this club has had to treat him, and he's been treated appallingly badly. I don't blame Frank for that. Frank made decisions, but even then, Tell comes on second half, and he absolutely put a shift in that second half.
He did.
All of this, Odebear looks great in training, but he doesn't like playing in the stadium. Mate, if you don't want to be a professional footballer, go and play keepy up. Go and do keepy uppies in some Italian, courtyard in the middle of Rome, and get some pennies thrown at you. If you don't want to be a professional footballer, don't be a professional footballer. Pressure comes with the job, mate. Pressure is probably 90% of the job. So, deal with it. Solanke.
He's not match fit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and that showed today, didn't it? It showed today. He played well for the first sort of 10, 15 minutes, and then he went. His fitness is not there.
Yeah.
Then should we be playing him then? Then that's the question. If Solanke's not match fit, should we have gone out and bought a striker to help him? Because we know Richie's out probably for the season. We know Solanke's not match fit. We bought on Dean Scarlett, which I did say in the watch long, you would have been jumping around your living room doing lays. Scarlett is here. But he didn't offer anything up front. I didn't see him for the whole when he came on. I didn't know he was on the pitch at 1 point.
5 minutes. It was only on 5 minutes. So there's certain things like you know where I am, right?
Yeah.
You know where I am with it, and the whole and I think fans are so. This is my personal opinion. I think fans are very emotional, and rightly so. And if we lose, it's the manager's fault, and I don't see that. I like to look at what actually did the coach do wrong. Did he set it? Did he set the team up well today? Yeah. Did they play tactically well? Yeah. In that first half, you saw some amazing shapes. We were moving around. It was clear that they've been really well trained in how to shift between 3 at the back, 4 at the back. They were getting forwards. The problem is there's just such a lack of quality at getting into the box and putting the ball in the back of the net, and the coach can do nothing about that. That's why teams pay big bucks for people who can do it, because it's the hardest thing in football, damn it. And we don't currently have players who are very good at it. Xavi's trying really hard, and then that second goal that they scored.
A comedy. That was when Benny Hill music needs to start coming in.
Absolutely, what a joke!
I can see I can see what your doggy was trying to do. He's trying to get back and help, and he just made things 20 times worse. Look, I want to go back to what you're saying, Rain, right, about the manager and is nothing he can do with the players on the pitch. I think that's what you were saying. I forgot that right.
No, no, no. Well, what I was saying is what he was responsible for, which was picking the right players. I think we can tick, right? Pretty much. You can go. There was no glaring errors there, apart from the fact
But
that Porro
he
was
can
all
only pick what's available. He
right.
hasn't got a
Yeah,
lot of players to pick from.
yeah, yeah. And like, there's nothing there where you can go. That is bonkers. What he's
No.
just picked there is absolutely crazy, right? There's nothing, right? Tactically, the way that we were playing in that first half was really smart. It was really,
It
really
was.
good, and we were getting into positions. We just weren't scoring, and the
No.
coach cannot. The coach can't do the last bit. The coach can get you 90% of the way, and the other 10% they have to do themselves.
Yeah.
And they're not doing that last 10% themselves. What I do absolutely blame Frank for, the things that he is responsible for. I can't stand these 80th minute subs.
I said in the watch along, didn't I? When he brought Dragons on, why are you eating up the minutes for Burnley?
No, he needed
Why
to.
you?
He needed to, mate. Romero was injured.
Well, was he
Romero,
injured? I didn't see that.
yeah,
I didn't see that.
Romero went down. He needed to get. They didn't actually show it on the screen, but before the Dragosin sub, Romero was quite clearly limping. So that's why. But it was the others, like you mentioned, Scar. Putting that to one side, right? Putting that to one side. And you know what? You might even be right. At that point, 92nd minute, don't bring Dragosin on. Bring on. I
Another
don't know.
attacker.
Williams Barnett, bring on somebody who's really good at
Yeah.
putting the ball in the back of the net, right? You know, but it's bringing Scarlett on the 85th, 86th minute. It's just like, you're not changing, you're not impacting the game enough.
Yeah, I agree.
If Solanke's struggling, if he can only play 70 minutes, then bring Scarlett on in 70 minutes.
Yeah.
It doesn't. If that's all we've got, that's all we got.
Then spend money. We're 24 days into this
Yeah.
window. We're still not hearing anything about Robbo, about him joining. I think that would happen. I think he'll get his goodbyes at Anfield. I think on I think the Wednesday they're playing or Tuesday. I can't remember. We need to buy. Look, I'm just really disappointed with today's game. I'm disappointed with the result. I'm angry with the result. Thomas Frank. Look, I do agree that Thomas Frank should be here to the end of the season. There's no point sacking a manager at the end of in January. What's the point? Unless you've got another manager to walk straight into the football job. I don't want to go with an interim, so stick with what we've got. Are we now in the relegation battle? I think we are. I think we are in a fight to stay up. I'll get the Premier League table up and we'll have a look where we are. But other results today, look, West Ham winning 3-1 today. Fulham beating Brighton today. Man City beat Wolverhampton 2-0 today. It's a good result for them. We do have Palace at where is it now? Brent tomorrow. Bournemouth are playing that. Bournemouth can go ahead of us today if Bournemouth win. So I just think Tottenham Hotspur have to look at where we are and realise we need to spend big in this window. We have to go and bring players in. And not bringing players in is either handicapping the manager. And it can't go on, Rain. It cannot go on, can it?
Yeah, I know I know I've got a pretty good idea of what's going on in their heads, and that's at some point we're going to get players back, and then they've got a squad problem. Sod it. Deal with that when that hits. Deal with that problem when that problem hits. Because at the moment they are absolutely sleepwalking into a relegation fight, and they can. I like saying I'm a student of history, and you can say, oh, we're too good to go down. We're absolutely not. We're absolutely not too good to go down. Not in a.
Here's it. We're on 28 points after 23 games. Still our second lowest after this many games in the last 10 years. Then you've got Palace on 28. You've got Bournemouth on 27. Bournemouth win tonight. They go above us. So we drop down to 14th. Leeds on 25. Nottingham Forest on 22. So between Forest and Tottenham, what's there? A 6-point gap? No, I think it is 6 points.
6 points.
And then you've got Nottingham Forest on 22 points in 17th. West Ham are 8 points behind us. 8 points.
Yeah, so it's 8 points to West Ham. That is way too close.
Yeah, we're 8 points. We're 8 points away from the last drop zone. And you've seen our February fixtures. We've got a hell of a February. If we don't get any wins in there and the teams around us start picking up points, we will be dragged in. And look, it was the same at 77, 74, 75. We nearly got relegated. 75, 76, we nearly got relegated. 76, 77, we did get relegated. It cannot keep going on like this, and we are sleepwalking our way into a relegation battle.
Yeah.
Look, Ray, we're going to finish up here, bud. Where do you look? We got tomorrow off. We got game away at Frankfurt. We're probably traveling out Tuesday. Do you see any players coming back? Would you think Palunia might be back? And also, just one more on the relegation. No team's too big to go down. I know Irish Red Devils put in, you won't get relegated, but no team is too big to go down, Ray. You know, that's the old saying, isn't it?
If you can't put the ball in the back of the net, then yeah, you are then you are going to get relegated. And look at us. I mean, I need to go and see who are our top scorers.
I think it's Romero.
It's good. I mean, okay, so it might be Richarlison.
Yeah.
Still, statistics.
Irish were woeful. We couldn't even beat a team. Burnley, no disrespect to Burnley, but we couldn't even beat them today. And it took a header in the last few minutes from Romero to get something. Premier-wise, we are really bad.
Yeah.
Europe were brilliant. In Europe. And that was the question last night, wasn't it? We were talking about, Rain, wasn't it? About different Premier League and are we better in Europe than the Premier League? We're like this last season. Couldn't get a point in the league, but we're going away in Europe. We're beating everyone here, there, and everyone.
As soon as Burnley came out to play second half,
we went
and pressed us, we struggled. Yeah, so in terms of goal scorers, Richarlison on 7, Romero and Van der Ven on 4 each, and then Paulinia on 3. So Tell, Odobert, Mwani, none of those 3 players. Kudus isn't up there, right? Xavi isn't there. These players need to step up. They need to be taking shots from outside of the area. They need to be crossing the ball, and they need to be putting the ball in the back of the net when the ball gets into the penalty area. And like I said, it's the coach's job to get them 80% of the way there, and I think they are. But they're just not doing that last bit.
I agree. I totally agree. I mean, here Gerard says the team have lost 30 to 35 goals since Kane and Son have gone. And they were never replaced. That is that's different. We get that's nothing to do with Thomas Frank. But Thomas Frank's job, as Rain said, pick the team, put the tactics together, give inspiring team talk, make the players believe they can run through brick walls. And he doesn't offer you that. We haven't moved on. I'm being honest now, but is the manager the whole problem? No, the squad is. I think the owners are. But have we moved on from last season? And the answer to that is no. I think we're worse. We're worse now than we were last season. I think last season, at least Ange gave us confidence, or Ange gave the players confidence to keep playing and fight and not give up.
I don't think you can discount the fact that Sonny helped drive us forwards. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
think
it
you can,
did. I'm not.
I don't
I'm
think,
not discounting that.
I don't think you
But
can discount. Yeah, I don't think you can discount that. Madders was a real force for us
yeah,
last season. I don't think you can discount that Solanke actually played decent for us last season. So I think we are worse than last season, but a lot of that is to do with the players who are on the pitch.
and
And
also to add
and
to that, Rain. Sorry,
yeah,
but sorry, go on. Just to add to it very quickly, that I think there was more togetherness last season. If you look at the squad as one, we were together as one. The manager had the players. Maybe he should have brought the fans into that, and maybe that's to his detriment. That's why he said. And we were bad last season. We finished 22 league defeats, but we gave it a go. I think if we were tactically, I think if we had a bit more of defensive structure last season, I don't think we would have been as bad as we were, if I'm being honest. And we didn't ditch the league off, by the way, to focus on the Premier League, on the Europa League. But this season, we should have bounced on, and we didn't, and we haven't. And that's everyone's fault. That's not just right. Okay, I've just got a bit right. Okay, right. Okay, this is the latest I have. I'm just see. Can I? This is on Thomas Frank, by the way, guys. I knew I was getting an update. Um, I'm just all right. Okay, can I? And I also got a transfer update for you as well. Just seeing if it's allowable. And once I get the go ahead and that, I will give you both breaking news, guys. Big up to Brendan. He says I've been all for giving Frank a chance, but this is not now unacceptable. Yeah, okay, fine. Frank's job, Rain. Here we go, guys. Frank's job isn't safe long term. It's tied largely to league results over the next few weeks. Oh, God, we haven't got a hope in hell. Right, okay. Right, okay. A largely league result of the next few weeks. A poor run could very realistically trigger changes if Spurs drop points again. Very quickly on that, Rain, before we get into the transfer stuff. That's what you're reading into that, but that next, if you say if he loses against Frankfurt, what are you reading into that? His job's not safe, is it? Rarely, to be fair.
no, I mean, I think if we get any closer to the
Relegation.
relegation zone,
Yeah.
then their hand will be forced. I don't think they want to do it. I honestly don't think they want to. I don't think they want to get rid of Frank, and I think that's mostly because I don't think this is Frank's fault.
It, it is. Look,
I don't think it is Frank's fault. I don't think you change the head coach and any of this. I don't think
manager.
Xavi, Odebear, Solanke, Richarlison, Tell. I don't think any of these players all of a sudden become 20% better.
So, do you think the late then and this view with what I've just given that Frank's job isn't safe? It's tied largely league results over the next 3 weeks. A poor run could very realistically trigger changes if Spurs points drop again. Are you putting the full blame on the owners then? It's their fault.
We've had a significant neglect in in building our squad and in our team for the last 10 years. Easy. Since the start of Poch, there's been a significant incompetence to generating our squad. They
Yeah.
they Kane and to a lesser degree Sonny glossed over it. They're now gone and we're paying for it. We've got no quality up top. And
No, we haven't.
the reality is, I don't think since Dimitar Berbatov we've bought a good goal scorer.
Well, why did we? Because we had one come through our ranks. So we didn't
Yeah,
really need to buy one, did we?
no, but that's negligence. That's the negligence.
It is I
That's the
think the whole
negligence.
team, a good midfielder. We haven't had a good midfielder. I don't think we've had a really creative midfielder since Modric was at the club.
Yeah, central midfielder. Yeah,
Central
well,
midfielders.
yeah. Okay. Um, I mean, Dembele was a different player, so yeah, okay.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think our wing backs haven't been good either since Walker arose. We haven't really. You're not telling me Jed Spence or Pedro Porro are good at wing backs. No, they're not. Porro was absolutely crap today. So was Jed Spence.
there was a reason
Centre
why.
back,
There was an absolute reason why Porro got hooked today, and I'm
Yeah.
not buying it. No one can tell me that was. I mean, again, right? Again, let's be honest. Frank got that absolutely right. He took a big call there, hooked hooked Porro, Spence over to the right, and Udogie over to the left. That was absolutely the right call at half time because Porro was atrocious that first half.
He was. He really was. Then you've got your good centre backs in Romero and Van de Ven. They're quality. So they're sort of an upgrade on Toby and Jan. Vicario needs replacing in the summer. I'm sorry, too many mistakes. That Burnley equaliser, or when they took the lead, he could have saved that. Instead of pushing it out with his foot, he could have saved it. He's got no confidence when it comes to the ball, him catching a ball. And look, also very quickly on the talks with Robbo, Spurs are in talks with Liverpool to sign veteran left back Robbo, a move pursued due to injuries at left back and need for experience. Liverpool may consider the sale, given Robbo's contract situation, reduced game time. There is an active market speculation, including claims that Spurs could consider selling Mickey van der Ven for 100 million valuation. Given the elite club interest, those Spurs are publicly value him highly and reluctant to sell, and are trying to get him to sign a new contract. I think he will sign a new contract if we get a new manager. And the last but not least, Spurs have been linked with winger interest with Somerville, who I think would be a very good signing for us, Wayne. I'd love to know what you think. Though West Ham reportedly don't want to sell this month. There's a lot to unpack there. I think that there's a show within what all the information. But if we just keep him to Thomas Frank, he will be in charge for Frankfurt. But our next games, how many of them does he have to? How many points does he have to get out of February to realistically save his job?
I don't think he's done anything wrong today.
No, I'm not talking about today. I'm talking about the fixtures in February. If we sleep and walking into a relegation battle, all right, how many points does he need to save his? How many points does he think will be good enough to keep Frank in the job to the end of the season?
I don't know. We just need distance between us and.
Yeah. So how many points would you think that? How many points do you want to be at the end of February to feel safe?
I'll have to go and have a little look. I'll have to go and have a little look at what.
Big up to Rhino. It says, "I'm going on a rant now, Domo. This squad, this is stupid. I'm done with this board. There are a bunch of see you next Tuesdays. They have paid me right off. They can't do anything good. Them all, and they'll all get gone. Fair enough. Fair enough, Rhino. There we go. He's had his rant.
Thank you for doing the censoring for us. That was very, very helpful.
Yeah, that was very helpful. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, big up to you, Rhino. Thank you for that, bud. Very good. Big up to Andy McGowan, Liverpool fan. Big where's Papa Sai? Ill. He is ill. 35 points, and we're safe. That's all we need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, look, who were the games in February then? We've got Arsenal at the end of January.
So our games in February, we've got City at home.
Yeah.
We've then got Man United away, Newcastle at home, and then Arsenal at home.
Are we in? Is that in February? So what games have you got at the end of January then?
No, that's it. So we've just got Frankfurt. So that's.
Oh, Frankfurt take us into February. So
yeah,
and Man City's next Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that a half-12?
Sunday. Sunday? Must be Sunday.
Sunday. Is it Sunday?
Yeah, it's Sunday.
Ooh, I get Saturday off next week. Yay!
Yeah, it's Sunday.
Yeah. Right. Guys, we're gonna leave it there. Yeah, just hit the like and subscribe. Look, Tottenham go marching on. We've got Frankfurt.
Arsenal are rolling over this team. Arsenal are rolling over these players. Manchester United are on a bounce. City are just are moving into methodical mode, where they just grind out. They just grind out. They don't concede, and they just grind out a few goals at the other end. And then Newcastle's our only chance of having a game where we can be competitive.
Yeah. I'm not. I'm not looking forward to. I'm not looking forward to next run of games. But look, guys. Yes, the play rating show will be out tomorrow. I do apologise for the other day for no play rating show. Me and I will get Rain's play ratings as well. So hopefully get them out tomorrow. Will there be a show tomorrow night? That we may do something tomorrow night on the board and the transfer window. Might do a transfer window update and just have our thoughts on the last week of the window coming up. Monday we have, and then from Monday it's all build up. Then the Frankfurt, isn't it? All that important Champions League game as well, and then we all got the build up then to City. Rain, thank you so much for joining me today for the watch along and doing this for me, bud. Really appreciate your help. Any more news that come out, we'll give it to you straight. I can't see Thomas Frank get the sack today. I think he will be in for the Frankfurt game. I just somehow feel if we don't get the result we get in Frankfurt, I think then he'll be under pressure for Man City. And I think then we might see something move. But yeah, we might do something on the transfer window tomorrow night. Might do. But yeah, Rain, where can people find you, bud?
Here.
Here, there, everywhere. Rain is going on a magical mystery tour for the next few days. He is going to the North Pole. He's going there. What's really happening? Rain has been hired by Tottenham Hotspur to hire the next manager. So, Rain, pick us a good manager, lad. Pick us a good manager. Yeah? Bring Poch home.
I think we've got a good coach.
Oh, you and me so disagree on this subject.
I think we've got a good coach. I don't get it. I don't get it. People are saying, because of the result. I want to know what he's done wrong. I want people to tell me what he's done wrong. I'm the only. I'm like going. I don't think he should. I don't think they're going to sack him. I don't really care either way, right? And I'm the one who's come up with specific reasons to sack him. I don't see anybody else coming up with specific reasons to sack him.
Tactics.
Right.
Okay. Tactics. I think he's got horribly wrong in most of the games this year.
Okay. So today, deal with today.
Today. Yeah. All right. Half time. No. Right. Today was down on the players. I said down to watch along. But you know as well as I do, we've watched the game long enough, Rain, right? That managers go by result. It's not like it wasn't like it was 10 years ago, or 12 years ago, 15 years ago, where managers, results didn't matter much. It's how the manager was within the football club. Results matter. It's a results-driven business. If managers don't get the results, fans are going to get in the clubs back to get rid of the manager. It's all about results. We're not getting the results, and I'm sorry, it's not good enough. I respect your view that you think Thomas Frank is a good coach. He is a good coach, but he's not a good coach for us. We should not be down in 14th, 13th, or 14th place. We should not be going to Burnley and drawing at Burnley. The players have to look at themselves 100%. We've got a shit squad, 100%. But please tell me, right? What's easier? Is it easier for a club to get rid of a manager and cheaper to get rid of a manager than it is to get rid of a player? You and me know that. Thomas Frank is a very good coach. I don't think Tottenham Hotspur are the right club for it. I think if you're a Premier League side, like a Leeds or Burnley or somebody like that you want to stay in the Premier League, Thomas Frank's your man. Thomas Frank is your manager. Tottenham Hotspur, we have a certain desire of playing front foot football, of playing to dare is to do. We're a big club. We are a big club. I don't care what anyone says. Tottenham Hotspur are a massive club with a massive name. And we're down there. near the we're 8 points off West Ham. West Ham, West Ham, Wolves,
mate,
Bournemouth.
so was Sheffield Wednesday. So were Leeds. Newcastle have been relegated. Villa have been relegated. What's the similarity with all these teams? They didn't have good enough players.
Yeah, but then that's down on the owners, then, isn't it?
Yeah, the last 10 years we've not invested, and I don't just mean money, I mean quality in the
Yeah.
squad well enough. The idea that we didn't need to buy good strikers because Harry Kane. I don't think we haven't bought good strikers because we had Harry Kane. I think the fact that we had Harry Kane glossed over the fact that we were rubbish at buying good strikers. We try too often, and we've tried too much over the last 10 years to buy a player for 70% of the top market value and hope that he gets developed. And yet all we've proven is that we can't develop players to come in to be top players. We've managed it
Well,
twice.
I'll
And
just tell you something. Yeah, I agree. I know. I'm just listening to the away fans. Chris Cowling put something up on the away fans, and we all know how. Do you know how good our away fans are, Rain? They're the best out there. I think they're the best away fans in the Premier League. I think them first, and then Manchester United second. They're all shouting, "We want Frank out." The whole away end, booing, and we want Frank out. Now, if you're an owner, or you're an owner or a chairman, and you're listening to that,
I don't think it's going
whatever
to
you
change. I don't think it's going to change Vinay's mind.
no, I think it's Vinay a bit more like he was. Do you think if Levy was in charge? This is hypothetical, right? Hypothetical. But if Levy was still chairman, is Thomas Frank still manager now?
No.
So, and Vinay, is he very much gone down the route of I did it with Arteta and it can work here at Tottenham?
I think I would look at it from a different perspective. I think Levy threw anyone else under the bus. Levy would always throw somebody else under the bus rather than take responsibility himself.
I agree.
And unfortunately, I think that's why we are where we are. It's because we've had successive people thrown under the bus when the thing that should have been thrown under the bus was Daniel Levy getting involved in the football club. He should have just stepped back as chairman and just hired a Vinay like 8 years ago, and let them deal with the running of the football operations.
I want to say big up to Elfan. We were finishing, but we'll continue on because we've got the Thomas Frank conversation going, which is always a good one between me and Rain. We do see it slightly different. Do you know, me and Rain do agree on a lot, don't we, to be fair? But on this one, we slightly differ. But and that's what it is. Big up to, he says, cheers, chaps. Colin says, I think you have a good coach as well. Colin agrees with you. I'm not saying Thomas Frank's not a bad coach, but I don't think he's the right coach for us. But maybe that we were sport Rain with great managers in the past, weren't we? Really, to be fair. We've got Ryan says, I might be effed off, but not going to get you demonetized because it's not. Hang on, sorry. I might be effed off, but I'm not going to get you demonetized, Dermot. Demonetized because it's not you, Dermot. I'll big up.
Who's causing him to be upset? He means.
Yeah. No, big up to you, bud. Big up to you. Ricky says, do you think the players are playing for him? The players look all over the place today. I didn't see many positive, but we all see games different. It's hard, isn't it?
But Ricky Miller, you say that, but in the first half, we were all like, "Oh, it's looking quite good." You know, they're tactically, they're clearly doing. You can see what they're trying to do. It's just that they can't put the ball.
Patterns of play. There was patterns. We saw what the patterns were.
Yeah.
We saw that.
Sorry,
that goal killed us. That goal killed us, didn't it? It killed us. That equaliser killed us. Confidence just drained. But you are right. What pleased you more quickly about that first half, Rain? What really pleased you? Me, it was the pattern of play and the attack and front foot football we were watching. That's what really pleased me.
I think I mean, when we all saw the lineup, we all saw it was 3 at the back, but and they regularly played 3 at the back. But then when we were going forwards, the players were very quickly shifting to 2 at the back. And either Romero, at one point Romero went forwards, at one point Van der Ven, quite often Van der Ven would go forwards to supplement the midfield, and that's great. That's fantastic, because that's exactly the way that a back 3 should work. It shouldn't just be 3 centre backs just sitting there. It should be 3 centre backs, and that frees up one of them. In fact, that's really how Poch played. Everybody talks about Poch, but really Poch played with 3 at the back. It's just that Wanyama or Dyer would line up as a defensive midfielder and then drop back when we were under attack. So that was fantastic. So whereas now, we're basically, we've got 3 out and out centre backs, and then one's actually kind of going forward. So all of that was really, really good. I thought Solanke was decent. He was holding the ball up. Gallagher, I really want to see Gallagher again live, because in that first half he was covering ground well. He clearly has got a football brain. You can see him covering specific space. There was one moment where he went and covered space. Burnley got the ball, and he knew exactly what he needed to do. He went for the player correctly. Then second half we just fell apart. They just fell apart as players. They lost their heads, and I just can't help but think back to that Conte rant. These players don't want to play under pressure, and
it keeps going back to that, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It keeps going back to that. It does. I watched it the other night. These are players don't like playing under pressure. They don't like me at the club. We're being paid. They know all of we're being paid great money to perform. And it was very much for the fans. They don't want to play for the fans. They don't want to play for themselves. We had that under Ange last year. We had that togetherness. And we just seem to have lost it. I don't know. I get this too from 365 Platypus. After 18 weeks under Frank, have we improved defensively? We did to start off with, but not lately. Have any of the players developed under him? Probably not. Do we have any clear style of playing? I think the first half we saw style playing today. So maybe. Do we have a clear so far, for God's sake, what makes us need to beg him? I just feel very quickly I just feel very much that Thomas Frank is the sort of the lamb to the slaughter. He was bought in under Thomas Frank. He was bought in not with Thomas Frank. He was bought in under Levy and Johan Lang. Paratici didn't want him at the football club. And is Johan Lang, and did they back him in the summer? No. Are they backing him in January? No. So I feel sorry for Thomas Frank. Thomas Frank, for me, is like a manager with no protection around him. And I think Tottenham are waiting for him to say, I've had enough. And Thomas Frank saying, I ain't going till I get my payout. So I think we're going to be like this to the end of the season. Big up to Javi. Big up to you. Is it Javi? Is it
Javier?
Javier. Sorry, I do apologise. Frank's too negative. 5 at the back and Burnley. Nah. I do agree on that. Just go through a number of comments. I do need to go because I do want my dinner. I am hungry. Big up to Jesus saves. Jesus saves, and he is a king. Big up, sir. We played a decent game. The keeper was a better keeper, but Frank hate is unjustified at the moment.
Yeah.
I agree. Harvey still negative. Ricky says, I didn't have that impression at all. I thought it was a laboured and poor, as I said, we see things.
No, I don't let me reveal. I don't disagree with that at all. I think tactically you could see that they were shifting around, but as soon as we get anywhere near the opponent's goal, it's just like meh. There's nothing there. And you know what? And I'm going to come back to it. That comes down to that is player quality. That's what you pay money for,
Yeah.
right? You can tactically coach teams to be solid, do this. What you can't tactically coach teams is to put the ball in the back of the net. To do
And that's
that, you
down
need
to the manager.
to
That's
do
down
that
to the manager then.
to what?
His job is to coach the teams and get the tactics right. It's down to the players to play to his tactics. So
Yeah,
the
but
manager's job is that no, the manager's job, you saying, is down to tactics. Well, that's the manager's job. The manager's job is to give the teams tactics to start the game. This is how we're going to play against Burnley today. The players are all paid well enough to follow instructions. It isn't rocket science. You don't have to go to university. You don't have to go to Cambridge or Oxford to get a big degree in following what somebody says. It's like me, I worked in construction all my life, right? And if my boss or my dad came to me and said, right, Dermo, I want you to go and dig out that foundation. It's all marked out for me. All I've got to do is dig out the foundation. If I don't follow the lines that are laid out for me, dig this house, I'm not going to dig a foundation. I'm going to get sacked because I'm not following my job. Footballers are not like normal lives. Footballers are trained from an early age to follow instructions. It's built into them. These players either don't want to follow Thomas Frank's instructions, or Thomas Frank cannot get what he thinks over to the players for them to make them understand. It isn't rocket science. So
I
if you
don't I don't agree with you. I fundamentally don't agree with you. I don't think anyone was telling Michael Owen how to play up front and score goals. I don't think anyone was telling Wayne Rooney how to play up front and score goals. I don't think anyone was telling Harry Kane how to play up front and score goals. The point is that the point that I was trying to make is you can tactically coach a team to be resilient in defensively, but you can't tactically coach a team to put the ball in the back of the net. That comes down to talent, and talent you have to buy.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I agree that we need to ban better players. But I don't think Thomas Frank should get off scot free. I think his job is to pick the team and set the tactics for that day. That's the point I'm making. And he has an offensive tactics and he has a defensive tactics. So wherever his offensive tactic evens him or his coaches who are dealing with the offensive side of the game, they have to get it spot on. They have to get it better or make it simpler for the players to understand. So if you're going up there, how many times did we see it the first half frame that they just kept passing it to each other around the edge of the box? And you and me and probably half the same screaming, have a pop. Have a pop from outside the area. Anything can happen. The goalkeeper could spill it. Have a pop. Don't keep passing it around because it gives the opposition time to get back into the defensive unit, and then the chance is gone. The only decent player we have in an offensive area, in my opinion, is Xavi. The rest of them need replacing. That's down to the owners. That is neglect on the building the squad. This is why this is one of the worst squads we've had in many a year at Tottenham. But a manager also Ange got it out of us. I mean, in our first season under Ange, we were scoring for fun. There's always you can either play two defensive or two attacking. He has to find a way of managing, cutting out the mistakes we're making at the back, and also when we're at the front for players to get goals. It isn't rocket science. Football's not a technical game. Football's a quite easy game. It's about scoring more goals than the opposition. You know that as well as I do. It's as simple as pie. If you score more goals than the opposition, you win the game. But the problem is we haven't got the players to do that. And we haven't got a manager to tactically do that either. The only decent manager we had over the last 10 years has been Pochettino. And I call him a loser because he hasn't won anything. You know, we may have played pretty football on the Pochettino, but he never won us anything. Is he the manager? And I'm being a hypocrite here. Is he the manager to unite us and probably for these players to get behind? Yeah, I do. I don't think these players trust Thomas Frank, or some of these players ain't behind Thomas Frank. Now, agree with that or disagree with that. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. But until the owners start buying better players and we get a better quality of coach with better players or players who believe in the manager there is, then we won't see anything improvement. We have gone backwards this season than where we were last season. We have gone backwards. Manchester United, who finished sixth, fought well in the summer, and where are they now? Fighting for Champions League. Where are we now? Scrapping for relegation. Something has to give. It's either the board have to back, and I said this on X, and I keep saying it. Either back the manager or sack him. The owners have to make a decision.
The problem that we've now got is
Sorry for the rant.
Sorry, mate. I don't. You know, I think. Yeah, you haven't said anything out of place. The problem that we've now got is that we just can't attract the players. So, you know, there was talk, oh, we're going to get Semenyo, and it was kind of like, yeah, no, I don't want to. I don't want to come to Tottenham Hotspur, and that's a lot of the. That's a big part of the problem that we've now got. We are a massive club.
We are massive.
We're a very, very rich club. The problem is when you neglect the playing staff for this long, and you build up the type of reputation that we've built up in the last 10 years through underachievement. That is what people see and remember. Because whilst we're a big club, there are plenty of other big clubs. So
yeah.
So yeah, you're absolutely. You know, we absolutely need to get better. The harsh reality is today we, you know,
did we lose an opportunity here to build some confidence to back up the win on Tuesday?
I think the team should have pushed on more in the first half.
Yeah,
and we should have been 2 or 3 up. That was the big. Burnley were always going to make it difficult, and anyways, it's only Burnley. Well, okay, you have that opinion, but Burnley drew 1-1 with Liverpool, although they're currently losing 1-0 to Bournemouth. You know, there are no pushovers in the Premier League. There really are not. Even Wolves are not a bad team. They're just not grinding out the results like they used to. Why? Because they don't have somebody up top who can just bang in the goals for them. You need any professional football team always needs somebody up top who can bang in the goals, and that's not coaching, that's talent.
And we haven't had that for years. We haven't had that. We never replaced Harry Kane.
We never
and
replaced.
That's been the problem. And that's been the problem. We haven't played Sonny. We haven't played Harry Kane. And do you know what? It's just years of neglect. And I would agree with you 100% about that. And I think you and me will agree. We may slightly disagree on Thomas Frank and where we see on Thomas Frank, but where we agree with you 100%, I think you and me do agree, is the board has not been good enough. The board have neglected the club for over a long time.
I'm not sure I do disagree with you about Thomas Frank. I'm not sure. I don't disagree with anything you say. I just agree. I just disagree with the outcome.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, how long have you been watching? Just out of curiosity, how long have you been watching Tottenham?
Me?
Yeah.
So,
well, I'm 44 years. This year, I'm 44 years watching Tottenham.
In my youth, I wasn't interested in. Well, in my youth, there was barely any football on TV. So
what was it back in the day? The FA Cup final,
the big match.
We may have got. Oh yeah, the big match on ITV, wasn't it?
I remember. I used to do like martial arts, and I remember I was like at a martial arts tournament, and in the restaurant, everyone was getting very excited, and it was Liverpool in a cup final, and like, you know, everyone was watching it and getting very, very excited, and that's the first time I ever remember seeing football on TV. And I must have been like 8 or 9.
Mhm.
I used to go to St. Group. So like that was like a match, not highlights. That was actually a match being showed. But I used to go to my local non-league club and
Yeah.
watch football and play football out the back. I didn't really watch very much. Played and watched when we couldn't play. So that's what I used to do when I
Mm.
was. So I really started watching Spurs from like the early 90s.
Yeah.
So from 91 is when I really started like watching avidly, and then obviously exploded on Sky, obviously. So yeah.
Just trying to give you any update. There is nothing for Thomas Frank yet. So we will, we will, we will bring you that live as well. I might do a show that we might cover some more press conference says tomorrow as well, guys. Yeah, Stephen Carr. I totally agree with you to get Irish international. Stephen Carr, he was great for us. Best right back in it. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Totally agree. Saints and Greavesy, yeah, back in the 90s. Saint and Greavesy before then.
Funny old game.
Look, so you and Dekeeler are sort of supporting Tottenham, sort of 30 odd years the same. So I've got probably 6, 7 more years ahead of you two. Um, from Tottenham, watching Tottenham wise. Look, for me, I'll end on this. Uh, we need new owners, we need new manager, and we need new squad. Rebuilding Tottenham's not going to be an easy job. Never is. I think the club do have to go out and bring Pochettino back. I do. I'm going to stand by that now. I think they do. Look, as much as I called him a loser, as much as I think that he didn't have
Well, he was.
quality,
He was.
pardon,
He was.
I get a lot of heat from fans calling him a loser. I do get a lot of stick from people saying we played good football onto him. We nearly got to the promised land, but it was about getting over the. And I've always said it: if Pochettino had an older manager next to him, I think we would have gone over the line. But that was again the board not backing him when we could have won a league, or we didn't build on for the Champions League final. We didn't build on for the Europa League final. So this board, the ownership has to go. On the footballing side of it, on the management side of it, I think Thomas Frank is not manager next season. I think what Tottenham board are trying to do, they're not trying to follow the Daniel Levy route of sacking a manager. They want to see when the going gets tough, let's stick by this manager. I don't think it always works out like that. I think the next we've got Arsenal at home. That's our first game, isn't it? No, Man City.
Man
When's our
City.
first home?
Man City.
Uh,
Man City. Man City at home. Man United
if
away. Newcastle at home. And
it's
then
Arsenal,
Arsenal.
he may. If he's still here, I think he goes after the Arsenal game if we lose that.
I think you're still living in Daniel Levy world.
I'm not. I'm not living in Daniel Levy's world, Rain. I'm telling you, this is my view. I'm not living in Daniel Levy's world. This is my
No, I think
opinion.
you're still working in
I'm
like the
not
way
working
that.
in nothing. This is me as a football fan. This is me as a fan of 44 years. This is me as a runs a YouTube channel. This is me as a support who watches every game, home and away, follows all the watch along. This is me. I don't like this manager. This manager is not good enough for my football team.
Uh-huh.
I want this manager to go. I think he needs to go, and he should have gone a long while ago. We are not improving under him. We are sleepwalking into a relegation battle. No matter what you think about it, no matter what anyone thinks, in my opinion, this manager who needs to go. The problem I have is if we do sack him, who do we replace him with? Which is an interim, which is what we all don't want. So you're stuck with a scenario. You're either going to stick with Thomas Frank until a manager comes available, or you stick with him to the end of the season. And we kept having shit performances, like we've shit results that we're getting like now. I think he's still here. Because we're doing so well in the Champions League. I think that's
No,
the only
no,
reason
no,
he's
no,
still.
no,
And
that's
hang on,
sorry,
let
no,
me
no.
finish. Let me
Okay,
finish.
okay.
I also think that he should take responsibility for his mistakes. The board have to take a bigger responsibility for their mistakes, and the players have to take responsibility for their mistakes. It's a shared apple. You do a pie, everyone has to take their share.
Mm.
But you know as well as I do, at the end of the day, football is a results-driven business. If you're not getting results and you're not getting the right wins, the right results or the right performance on the pitch, the first person to go is not the board, it's not the players, it's the manager. Because the fans are going to get in the back of the board. The board are going to go, oh dear, they're shouting at us. Oh dear, Viv and Charlie in the dugout. Oh dear, they're shouting at us. What we're going to do? Let's get rid of the manager, and then that would take the pressure off us. And then we don't have to spend any money in the transfer window. All good for everyone. No, it's not good. Because as I said, everyone has to take responsibility. But the first person to go is the manager. I
Am I good now?
yeah, sorry. I
Yeah.
just had to get that out.
So when I said I think you're living in Daniel Levy world, I think you're approaching this from a Daniel Levy, how Daniel Levy. You said it earlier. If Daniel Levy was in, you asked me if Daniel Levy was in charge, would Frank still be in a job? I said no. And I think you are still thinking. I think a lot of fans are thinking as well. From a this is how our club would normally have reacted. Now, I'll be brutally honest. I'm quite happy. I don't really care if Frank stays or goes, except for I do think if fans think that sacking Frank is going to mean that we get a better coach, I think they're going to be in for a rude awakening. I think there needs to be some realism about where we are as a club.
Hmm.
I really, really do, and I think people need to be very careful about what they wish for. I have been scarred by ninth choice Nuno, right?
Hmm.
By fourth choice Ange. I've been scarred by the way that Jose and Conte have talked about our club, and other managers will have seen that. If fans think we're sacking, Slot turned us down, Nagelsmann turned us down, right? If fans think we're going to sack Frank and we're going to go and get a better manager, I think they're deluded. I honestly do. I don't think we are. I think other managers are going to look at our club and think. I mean, there was people saying Xavi Alonso.
He's going to
You are
Liverpool.
you are deluded. You are deluded if you think that Xavi Alonso, looking after his career, is going to go. Tottenham. That's going to be a nice. That's a place where I can go and I can have either a step up to another club, or I can achieve success. They're absolutely bonkers. The only reason that coaches are coming to our club is to get a payday. So all of this get Frank out of our club is over emotional from my perspective. And it doesn't look at the big picture, which is if we get rid of Frank, we're going to end up with a second rate interim, like you've just said. That's where I am. I don't care about Frank. Okay. I care about my club. And from my perspective, if we get rid of Frank, we're going to be in a worse position. I honestly
No,
do.
I, I agree with what you're saying, but I think from my perspective is I have already said this. I don't want the manager to be sacked and get an interim. I don't want an interim. And I've also already said is Rain that if we do sack him, I want to sack him that a manager comes in. Who is that manager? The only manager for I think can come in is Pochettino. We're not going to get Xabi Alonso. He's going to Liverpool. I think Slot will get the sack at Liverpool very soon, actually. my view. So
Might
Alonso's going.
he might get sacked tonight before
He
Frank.
might get sacked. That'd be good fun, wouldn't it? Yeah, we were the channel that broke Slot getting his job. By the way, we might be the channel that breaks Slot getting the sack at Liverpool. But the point is, I get where you're coming from, and I think we both agree. We're both seeing it from the. We both agree what each other's saying to a point, but I think it's the final point where we sort of disagree. Is I think if it gets too much worse, then Frank has to go. You know, if we drop too much further down the
Why?
league, because all right, is Frank the manager? If we get say we're only 8 points above West Ham, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so
way
if we
too close.
continue
Way
losing
too
games,
close.
yeah, if we keep losing games in February, we don't pick up any points in February. Okay, worst case scenario, right? Worst case scenario, we don't pick any points in February. Another team's still winning. Are you telling me you're still Frank? Frank's still the man to
It's
you would
not
keep
that
Frank
Frank's
as
the man. It's that there's nothing else. Right? We got rid of Nuno because Conte was available. We got rid of Poch because Jose was available. None of these people are coming to our football club.
So okay, then what about Xavi Horrendous? Would you like him as manager? Who do you want as manager? There you go. That's
He
the
isn't
question.
coming. He isn't coming to
No,
Tottenham Hotspur
okay
Football
then.
Club.
You say no top end manager's going to touch us with a barge pole, right?
Yes, that's
Okay,
what I believe.
Rain, the Tottenham fan. Who do you want as Tottenham manager if Frank goes?
Pochettino.
Right. So you're quite prepared to wait to keep Frank in to the end of the season and see where the chips lie before Poch comes.
I stand by that. I see no one out there who is going to come in. I think there is. Everybody's like, Ricky Villa. You're representing here. You're representing, from my perspective, something like 80% of the fan base, mate. Okay, I'm going to give you your props, right? You're representing a good 80-90% of the fan base, so fair play to you, right? A little bit further up, if we don't get rid of Frank, I think we may be relegated. I think the reality is that has no basis. That's like crystal ball stuff. I think it's just as likely we get rid of Frank and a lot of the players just down tools, and they're like, I'm out of here in the summer. Honestly, I think it's just as likely that you make it even more of a shit show at our club, and the players just fall apart completely,
So we'll
and we
put Frank to
lose
one.
today rather than get a
Yeah.
point.
So we put Frank to one side. We put it's down to the board, isn't it? The end. We've got 24 days into this window. We've got don't know how many days left we've got actually. Right? Is it 7?
Yeah,
7 days left in this window. We have to do something. We really do. But look, Bud, we are going to leave it there.
and that is negligent. We should have.
That is, you and me will agree on that 100%.
Yeah.
We may differ on Thomas Frank, but you and me will totally agree on that. Look, guys, we are going to leave it there. You know what? I enjoy these chats, and I enjoy. Think big up the Cooler. He says, "Cool. At least we win the league title next year if we're in the championship." Yeah, that's true. We get a title. Yay! Yeah, we do. Big up to David Clark. I was read out a few of these guys because you have been very good sending them in. He says Frank has to go. This man with his job on the line, 1-1 it stands there, doing nothing. And when we go 2-1 down, what's he do? We need a goal. He brings on Garrett Gray and takes off our best player, Basuma. Would have to agree. Don't think the players understand what he wants, and we don't. And Frank doesn't understand Tottenham's DNA. Tequila says there's no one to bring in, fam. So true. Yeah, I'm going to call you expressions part Mark 2, I think. Ricky says, I don't think Frank understands what he wants. Why do these coaches make things difficult for the team and themselves? Totally agree. He leaves the normal Gala who passes the ball backwards as many times as he presses forward. Cool. Cool can be what?
10%.
10%. Cheers, fam. Yeah, there you go. And then we've got Ricky saying I think the lot have no clue what he wants to do. Same difference as down in tools. Look, do get over to Ricky Villa. He's on at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, guys. Do get over and give him a like and a sub. I want to say big up to everyone today because we've had we're only sort of, I think, 20 away from 2,500. Come on, let's get there before the end of the transfer window. 20 more subs, and then we're only 500 away from 3K. Unless it can we get there before the end of the season. But guys, Rain, just very quickly, where can people find you, bud? Just very quickly.
Here.
Here, there, and everywhere. Guys, we are 12 o'clock tomorrow. Yeah, do get over there to Rick and Villia TV. Do get a good show. I always like it, by the way, guys. I try to cut as much as I can, but do get over there. Give the lads the good content over there. David says we have a £65 million player who doesn't score goals, can't create for himself or others. So we have 3 number 9s worth 160 million and all crap. David, totally agree. They said, sorry, bad typing. I'm eating with the other hand. No, you're grand, Tequila. You're grand. But guys, yes, we are 19 away from 2,500, and then we're 500 away from 3K. Let's get up there. Come on, let's do it. Now, on that bombshell, we should leave it there. Whatever you do, back tomorrow at what time am I back tomorrow?
At some point tomorrow,
I'm trying to think when the player ratings. 11 o'clock, 11:30. I will be on with player ratings, and then I don't know. Whatever we're doing tomorrow, we'll do something. But player ratings at 11, guys. Whatever you do, come on, you Spurs. In the Tottenham cockerel we trust. We'll always follow that cockerel to the end of the land. But Thomas Frank, do us a favour, mate. Grab a taxi, grab a latte, and go to the pub. Come on, you Spurs.
Tottenham till I die. Raise a banner, let it fly.